Today's episode of how Luke Ford and his show changed my life. Um, Actually, I was watching to his show briefly, and I guess he saw. And he's probably joking when he said this, but he was saying, speaking of narcissistic supply, this title just, I don't know, fed me some supply or something. I think he was joking, but oh, I don't think it's unhealthy when someone pays you a legit compliment, even if it's a strong compliment, if you've actually done something to deserve it, if it's not just, blowing smoke up your ass, which I'm not trying to do, or even just like saying stuff that will get me on his show. Some of the thoughts I have about his show, I thought, well, maybe I could just call into his show and say it. But one, I mean, it's his show, right? I'm not entitled to just come on and give a diatribe. He has things he wants to talk about, so that's why I did it like this. And whether he puts it on there or whether he wants to listen to it at all, obviously that's a personal decision, so I still get something out of doing this, even if nobody listens to it. But I wanted to touch upon, I think what Luke Ford does really well, maybe the best thing about his show, is his understanding and delving into psychology through his own personal experience. I don't really know for sure like his history, but he talks about I think his experience with narcissism, and he's able to have an understanding of it, which I think is actually very or fairly impressive, because if someone has narcissistic tendencies, part of that is not acknowledging that they do. So from what I know, it's fairly difficult to have someone acknowledge their own narcissistic tendencies. But I think the people that do are quite interesting. Luke himself, or Sam Varquet, I forget the guy's name, Israeli guy that has some great videos. That guy pumps videos out so much, they're really interesting, but God, I just can't watch them all. But I think he's really good, and there's probably some other people out there that do it as well. But really, most of the dynamics that unfold in the subject matters he talks about, whether it's elections, Twitter, ideological wars, the development of governments and dictatorships, and all the dynamics that happen between people, whether it's one-on-one, group versus group, country versus country, political party or ideology versus another one, can be best understood through psychology, individual and as a group. So I think that's what he really does. When he talks about the phenomenon of, say, National Socialists or Holocaust deniers, instead of talking about the actual evidence, which has some value, really the best way to understand it is the psychology of such individuals who hold such beliefs, why they're doing what they're doing, why they believe what they do, what their motivations are. So I think that was a really valuable aspect of his show that really taught me a lot. And I feel like our country has become dominated by pundits and the pawns of pundits. People like, well, Rush was one. Pundits or ideologues. Rush Limbaugh was one, and now we have Tucker, who's even more of an ideologue or pundit, or obviously Trump, and varying levels between, Rachel Maddow over on MSNBC, whatever. We've kind of become an idiotic nation of pundits arguing with other pundits and the pawn of pundits who parrot what they heard on Tucker's show to other people who parrot what they heard on Rachel Maddow's show, or I don't know. I can't think of the other people's name on MSNBC that might be. I mean, I don't know. I hate Rachel Maddow, but she's more likable than who's that guy on MSNBC? Cole, the guy that was on ESPN and then also MSNBC. God, my memory is so horrible with the names, but that guy was like super obnoxious. ESPN and SNBC anchor. I gotta pull this because this guy is such a huge douchebag. Keith Olbermann. God damn it. He's like the worst. The worst kind of pundit. And some other people like him. Well, my point is we become a nation of pundits and people that parrot pundit talking points. Like somebody like Luke, I feel like he's done a good job of getting beyond that limiting dynamic and actually fully understand what's going on to actually, fully get down to what the truth is. I feel like he's done a good job at that. To some people, it might feel or look like he's trying to be a contrarian by disagreeing with voter fraud. But I think his take on voter fraud is actually the result of, critical, independent thinking and not just parroting what other people are parroting. And no, I don't think he did it just to have a hot take and get viewers. Actually, that would probably result in less viewers to say, yeah, I don't know. I don't buy the whole voter fraud thing. Like, it might trigger some people in his audience, but you would get more viewers talking about voter fraud than you would say no voter fraud. Like, talking about conspiracies and creating drama gets viewers. That's why I don't know what Alex Jones says about voter fraud. Like, he probably thinks it happened that, his things were all getting screwed. The government is cheating us. Sandy Hook was a false flag, etc., etc. But anyway, my point doing this video is he does a great job delving down into psychology. And I've learned a lot from those takes, as well as my mom actually suggested a book about narcissists and how I don't think you have to be a narcissist to use some of these tactics that people use. Manipulating others to do their bidding, baiting you. A lot of times people will try to trigger you, get a reaction out of you, and then use that reaction to say, well, you're crazy. Look, this guy's crazy. He's the crazy one, so you should avoid him. This happens a lot amongst, obviously, narcissists, but people that aren't narcissists, or maybe they just have some tendencies, do it as well. But these are important things to understand at an individual and group dynamic basis, which he does a good job. Damn it. I think I'm out of gas on this rant as far as adding anything of value. But, yeah, let's end it there. Everyone have a good day.